my name is Justin Cartwright. I'm in Group 8, and for my section of the individual group submission thing that's due tonight, I chose to do server farms or web proxies. So I basically began this off with a thing on server farms, and as it says, bandwidth on one machine can only serve so many web requests until the load is too much for it to work with. As such, the solution is usually to use multiple computers to make the web server. This is a server farm. And I had to lead it off with that because that's the easiest way to explain what a server farm is. I then explained the simple need of it needing to look like one single logical website for clients. Otherwise, it'll be confusing or just be different websites running together. And then next, I chose to start going into the issues or solutions you can have to get this to be done. And as you can see, I said it has a few issues, but as long as you make them appear as one website, it increases the bandwidth you can use on one web URL. And sorry about that, it keeps scrolling for some reason. And then multiple computers used on one URL, how? And I said one solution is to work as one, to use DNS to spread the request across all servers in the farm. When a request is made for the web URL, the server returns a rotating list of the IP addresses of the servers. So I didn't think I could add much more detail to this. So instead, I just went into front ends right after this, because I explain how the IP addresses basically get handed out on a rotating list, but how the actual important bit is the front end on the next part. And so other solutions are based off front end that spreads all the requests, and it explains how this will save bandwidth because it's spreading the clients across all of the servers instead of just all on one computer. And then I explained the usual simple design of front ends where you broadcast the request to all servers, and how it could sound like a bad idea, but it actually works quite decently. And then, because there was a lot of information on the next part, I just simplified it to saying you can also send a request to each server in a round-robin type of system, because the book goes way too in-depth about this, and there's not even terms or anything I can really use for that bit. It would take too much space if I had to explain that, so I had to just simplify it to that. And then I went into web proxies for my last two, and I also have the questions about web proxies. And I said that the web requests and responses are sent using HTTP, and then I explained that how caches basically work, and how if the cache is fresh, it'll just be able to pull it instantly with no traffic. As such, you want to do the cache for multiple people. And if you can get it for multiple people, then that is a huge benefit to the site because it will have a lot less traffic. And by comparison to any other system, this is like the most efficient way to try to keep things spread out. And then for my next part, I simply explained a little bit further how it's supposed to work. And I also explained that it can be a negative if you use it on too big. So this is like these are tips for things that are smaller URL, like smaller, less used URLs than big ones like Google or something. This is for private things like businesses and such. And when you use them, and I'll explain this when I'm speaking in front of the class, when you use them for small business, you have to keep it small, or else the sharing with the proxy will actually make it less beneficial. It'll actually start becoming a problem. And then, as my question, I have how do web proxies help? Which go back to what I said here, and it says it helps speed up web requests for users and reduce bandwidth needs, which is basically the entire purpose of the web proxies, is to lower the pain on basically any part of the system that the proxy can help. And I mean, that's basically it. I think I got most of the key details of each my little parts of my chapter. And I think that's good for my submission. I wanted to use some pictures, but I didn't want to just take from the book, because I didn't know if you would be mad about that. So hopefully that's fine that I didn't use any pictures, but I could definitely add them before Wednesday if that's fine. And yeah, that's basically all. Sorry about the bad audio quality. I don't even have a headset. This is a mic I just managed to make work. So, apologies for that.